I was one of the paid protesters at the April 5th liberal protests. And so I just wanted to come on and talk about my experience, what I had to do to get paid, and how much I got paid. So there were two kind of parts to it. The first was obviously just showing up. They gave me like a time and a place and told me to look for a girl with blue hair and a nose ring, which like I thought would be really hard because I thought like everyone was gonna look like that, but luckily she was the only one. It was really easy to find her. So yeah, that was good. I checked in. They told you that you couldn't wear anything MAGA. They also asked you not to wear red. So I just wore a black t-shirt and jeans. And yeah, I checked in and then they said just like go on the march. And then at the end, there would be like a questionnaire to answer. Oh, and then the other thing is they said they would pay extra if you brought a sign. So I did bring a sign. Again, same thing, like couldn't be MAGA, had to like be in line with like the liberal agenda. So my sign said, everyone deserves a good education, which like I don't necessarily personally agree with. Like if you're gonna be a server or like a mechanic, like you don't really need an education, but I wanted to fit in. I wanted the money. And I didn't want to like draw attention to myself, so that's what I went with. So, anyways, I went on the march, and then at the end, I had to check back in, and that's when they gave me the questionnaire. And okay, the interesting thing is like you had to answer the questionnaire as if you were a liberal, and there were right and wrong answers. Like it wasn't just like whatever you thought. Like you could get the questions wrong and you had to get them right in order to get paid. At this point, I had already invested like 2 hours of my time, so I wanted the money. So the first question, for example, was why do Republicans want more women to stay home and not work and not have jobs? And again, I just kind of like had to put myself in like their mindset. So I wrote basically like if women don't have jobs or job experiences and they have to rely on men financially, and that gives men a lot more control over their lives. For example, like, if like she's in an abusive situation or whatever, she can't really leave, especially if she has kids. She doesn't really have the means to take care of them, and she doesn't have the experience to get a job that could like afford to take care of them. So it just gives like the men a lot more control to kind of do what they want her to do, basically. So that was my answer for the first one, and I got that right. But there were some that I just like didn't really know what they would consider a right answer. So I just asked, I was like, what do I do if I don't know how to answer this? And she said, just like do your best and then come talk to her at the end. So, for example, there's one I didn't really know what to say. It was like, what is critical race theory and why should it be taught? And like, what's an example of like something that you could learn from it? And I like didn't know what they wanted the answer to. So I just asked her about that one, and the answer that she gave is basically they just want people to understand the lasting effects and impact of segregation and discrimination. And the example she gave, what she called it? She called it like generational wealth. And she explained that during slavery and during Jim Crow, and like even after that in some places, like Black families have been essentially barred from owning homes, where like white families could own a home and then like pass that down, and their family can either like live in that home and not have to pay for a mortgage, or they could sell that and then use that money towards like other opportunities. But because Black families weren't able to own homes, they weren't able to like accumulate that wealth in the same way, and they had to like spend more of their income on rent, and they weren't getting that back the way you get back, when you buy a house. So she said that was just like one example, but yeah, that was like kind of her answer to that question. So I wrote that down. And yeah, I got paid. I got paid $100 for going to the protest, and then I got paid an extra $10 for bringing the sign. Um, and like overall, it was a pretty good experience. Like the people were pretty nice. Everyone smelled really good, which is like a surprise to me. Um, but yeah, so the questionnaire had 8 questions. So let me know if you want me to talk about the other questions, or let me know if you have any questions. And then I think people got different questions on that questionnaire. So let me know what your questions were and like, did you get them right? Did you get them wrong?